Hello, people. Welcome to another video by your good friend Chad Marco. So, this is the Street Fighter 6 character theme tier list. This is not a tier list for the characters and how good they are, but how good their specific character themes are. I'm sure you guys know, but I love listening to video game music, and the Street Fighter OSTs in particular are some of my favorites. But as we all know, they're not all made equally. So I made a tier list for the various character themes in Street Fighter 6. So I took some time out and listened to each song individually and placed them within one of these categories. Now, this isn't a very complex tier list. We only have four here. So at the very top, we have Dope, which is for the best songs. We have Nice, which is for the good tracks that are respectable and fit the character. We have Meh for the tracks that are honestly forgettable. And then we have Garbage Juice for the legitimately bad songs. So we're going to go right in order here and rank all of these themes. Let's start with Ryu. So Ryu goes right in the dope category. I think Ryu has one of the best character themes in the entire game. Not really surprising, him being the face of the franchise. You know, they try to make Alex or Luke the face at particular points in the story, you know, with Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 6. But when it comes right down to it, Ryu is the golden boy of Street Fighter. So, of course, he's going to have one of the best themes. I think other than this one, I would say his Street Fighter 3 theme was probably just as good. And I think it kind of has those like similar vibes. It also kind of reminds me of Oro's theme in Street Fighter 5. I know some people felt like the theme didn't really fit him because it's kind of, most of his themes are very like, have a very serious tone to them, and this one is a bit more upbeat. But I always felt that maybe it was a reflection of his growth. I think it's supposed to express the current point that he's in his journey. In that maybe not saying he's less of a serious person, but that he's probably a bit more loose and free, given that he's more mature at this point and probably more comfortable within it. So maybe I'm looking more into it than I need to, but that's the vibe that I got. Again, it's kind of similar to Oro, where you look at Oro as a character, and Oro's is one of the strongest fighters in the story, yet he doesn't take himself too seriously. You notice that, and I feel like that's kind of where Ryu is headed. So next we have Luke. So Luke's theme goes right in the Garbage Juice category. So it's kind of surprising to me that Luke, who is obviously being set up to be the face of this particular Street Fighter 6, has one of the worst themes in the game. But to me, it really doesn't fit him at all. The theme itself sounds kind of like, it sounds childlike and immature almost. Like it would be for, like, it sounds like it would be the theme for Ken's son. Like if Ken's son was in the game, and that's a good idea, by the way. If Ken's son was in the game, I feel like this would be his theme, but it doesn't really fit Luke. I mean, as awesome as a character as he is, he just deserves so much better, and I do not like his theme at all. So next we have Chun-Li. I put Chun-Li in the nice category. I think overall her theme is pretty good. It fits her. It has a nice melody to it. I like the use of like the vocals, like the but yeah, I think her theme is pretty good. Next is Jamie, and I also put his theme in the nice category. What I like about Jamie's theme is that, you know, it's not one that I really listen to over and over again, but I think it's a theme that perfectly fits his character. It's kind of like the exact opposite of what we have with Luke, where Luke has a theme that doesn't really fit him. I feel like Jamie's theme it fits him perfectly. And obviously he's of Chinese heritage and descent. And I just like when the themes not only fit the character, but also when the theme fits their particular location on the globe or where they're from. And it does kind of have like a Chinese vibe to it. So next we have Guile. Garbage. I do not like his theme at all. To me, his theme in this game is very stale. It has absolutely no life to it. I think his Street Fighter 2 theme is obviously iconic, but my personal favorite theme of his is Strange Sunset from Street Fighter EX. I don't know if it's the first game or the second one, but to me, that's hands down the best Guile theme, Strange Sunset. And we have strayed very far from the path of that wonderful track. I think in particular the arranged version, but to me that was the best Guile track. But this one is it's stale, it's lifeless, you know? And I think Guile just deserves so much better. So next we have Kimberly. Now, as much as I don't like Kimberly, and that deserves a separate video in of itself, I think Kimberly's theme is actually pretty nice. Now, the song that plays when she activates her level 3 is Garbage Juice. But her thing, I sat down and I really listened to it. And what I realized was that every time I fight her and her theme is playing, I'm overwhelmed by just how much I don't like her as a character. That I never noticed how solid her theme is. Not only does it fit her, but it actually it's a pretty good arrangement. So yeah, I would definitely put her particular track in the nice category. So next we have Jury. And Jury is another one where I didn't notice how good it was till I really sat down and listened to it, because normally when I'm fighting Jury, I'm focused on not getting my ass whooped. She's one of those characters I have a problem with fighting online, and so I don't even have the time to really listen to what the hell her theme is. But when I actually listened to it, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good track. I think Jury's track is pretty good. But I'll say this, I don't think her track fits her, but it's a good track. When I listen to it, I don't feel like it really connects with her as a character the way some of these other themes do. But it is a good track in of itself. So next we have Dhalsim. Dhalsim goes right into the Garbage Juice. Just a boring ass, it's just a boring ass Indian sounding song. And I mean, no offense. I mean no offense when I say that, but it's kind of like what I mentioned earlier, where I like how the songs reflect the location. Like when you hear it, it's like, yeah, okay, this sounds like a Indian track, if you will. But I just don't think it's a good song. I think at best, it's just a song that reflects him as a character. Like it does fit him and it fits where he's from, but it's just not a good song. So next we have Honda. Honda goes in the nice category. Now, I was surprised because Honda is one of those characters, I think, because remember, Honda is of the original 8 or 12. We'll say the original 8, right? And I think out of all of the original 8, Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Zangief, Blanca, Honda, who the other Dhalsim, and who's the other one? Who's the other? Oh god. Guile, yeah. The original 8. Out of all of them, Honda has always been my least favorite. But I'll say this. I think in this game, even as annoying as he is to play, I think they did a good job with him design-wise. But his theme is actually pretty good. And when I sat down and listened to it, I was like, yo, this is a good track. This is the best Honda track ever. They really outdid themselves with the Honda track. For a character that I really typically don't like, I think they did a good job. So next is Ken. Now, even though Ken is at the top of the tier list in terms of how good he is as a character competitively, I think his track is very meh. And I know it's very hard to live up to the standard set by his Street Fighter 3 theme, Jazzy NYC, which is, I mean, obviously his best theme. It's the theme that he shared with Alex, but it fit both of them perfectly. And since then, he just has not had a theme that it even touches it. Nothing even close. And I think this track in particular, I think it does fit him. But overall, it's a very meh sort of track. It's not a track that I want to listen to. It's not a track that gets me pumped up while fighting Ken. I think they really dropped the ball with that. Ken deserved better, considering how good he is in the game. Next, we have Blanka. I think Blanka is another meh. Not a bad track. I think it fits him. It has that whole jungle vibe to it, like with the specific instruments that are used in the track. I think it definitely fits him. But personally, I'm just not really a fan of it. I think at best I can say that it fits Blanka. It's not really good, but it's not really bad either. So next we have DJ, which I also would put into the meh category. Again, not a bad track, but I think given how good of a job they did with DJ's design, he needs something more. He needs something extra. His track, to me, his theme sounds tame and just it's a little bit too laid back. I think he needs something more upbeat, something with more energy to it. It's a little bit too chill. I wouldn't describe it as chill, but it leans too far in that direction given the type of character that he is. Definitely a character that I think needs better. So next is Manon. That's my personal name for her. Now this might be a controversial pick, but I would actually put Manon's theme as dope. Now we all know Fête Foray is not her theme. That's the theme of the stage. So I'm not talking about Fête Foray. Fête Foray is the best track in the whole game. But this is the character theme tier list. So, and I forgot the exact name of her character theme. But I do think that is dope. It's a dope theme, and it fits her, and it has this runway vibe to it. It's like dun, like the beat. It fits her perfectly, and I think it's a very unique theme in of itself. I've never heard a theme like that in a Street Fighter game. It's very untypical, but it's dope and it fits her. And again, it kind of reminds me of the Chun-Li theme in that they have a very creative use of like these female vocals every now and then on the track. But yeah, it almost has like this like 16-bit ish sound to it, but it's also modern. It has a modern sound to it. It's a cool track. It's definitely a cool track. Now, Marisa is oh God, I think Marisa might have the worst theme. I think Marisa might have the worst theme in the game. It sounds incredibly generic to me. It does fit her character and her background, but it's painfully generic. Painfully so. It sounds like it almost sounds like a character theme for like an NPC character. You know how you got the story mode in this game? Oh no, the world tour mode. And you know how they have like those, not like NPCs, but like semi-important characters. Like this track sounds like it will be a theme for one of them. Like not quite a main character theme, but not quite like an NPC, something in between, like one of the world tour character themes. Like it's just Painfully generic. Painfully generic. JP is another one. Now, I do think his theme fits him, but I just don't like it. It's just like, it kind of has the similar issue of Marissa, where to me it just kind of sounds like generic ass boss music. It doesn't really have any real flavor to it. It doesn't have any uniqueness or life to it. It's kind of like somebody just ran into the studio and was like, yo, we need some dark boss music for JP. And that's what, and they just whipped it up real quick. Like, just there's no love and creativity behind it. It's the most generic type of like dark doom doom boom boom, right? It's just, to me, it's another generic ass track similar to Marissa. So next we have Cammy. Now, I'm not just saying this because she's my main, but I think her track is nice. I think it definitely fits her. It's kind of hard to describe it, but I think it is one of those tracks that I think what it excels at is setting the mood for a fight. It's one of those tracks that is like, yeah, it's time to fight type of track. Cause I think what's lacking with some of the character themes in this game is that they don't really serve their purpose in terms of like, when it comes on, you're supposed to feel like, yeah, it's time to go. I think, and this is a totally different game, but thinking back to like not Marvel, but Capcom versus SNK 2, and there's one track in particular, I think it's called True Love Making. This is true love making. This is like, that's a track that when it comes on, it's like, yeah, it's time to fight. And even though Cammy's theme isn't on that level, that's a whole different level. What I'm saying is, I think that it does its job in terms of invoking a feeling in the player that yes, it's time to fight. And not only that, but it fits Cammy's unique kind of cold, calculated personality. I think it's really what they should have done for Guile, right? Not saying it should, like, Guile's theme should have been like exactly the same, but I think there should have been a similar approach. So this might be another controversial pick here, but Lily, I think her theme is dope. I really like Lily's theme. And it's funny because she's considered one of the worst characters in the game. She'll be garbage juice competitively, but I think she has one of the best themes in the game. Boom ba doom doom boom ba doom doom. I mean, talk about a theme that fits the character perfectly. I mean, whenever I hear it, I see her face, and that's exactly what you want. The same way when you hear that Guile Street Fighter 2 theme, you see that Guile haircut and the two American flags on each arm. Like, when I hear this track, I think it fits her perfectly. It's a track that fits the character, and it fits the character's location and heritage, right? It just, the use of the instruments and everything, it perfectly fits Lily. I think this is a legitimately dope track. Unfortunately, Lily just needs some buffs. So next we have Zangief. Now, I think Zangief, his theme is pretty meh to me, but it does fit him. It fits him, but it's very meh. It's just, I don't think Zangief has ever really had a track that I liked. I think his Street Fighter 2 track is pretty good. And I think one of his EX tracks too. But that's about it. I think Zangief to me has always been lacking in the, because I think they always kind of go for the same type of energy with him. And while it always fits him, it's never to my liking. But I think in the case of Zangief, it might be more of like a personal, I mean, all these are like a personal taste thing, but I think really with Zangief, because I never really like his themes for the most part. So last but not least, we have Rashid. And I think Rashid definitely has a nice theme. Wait, okay. Wait, right here. Okay. Yeah, Rashid's theme, again, another theme that fits not only the character, but his particular location on the globe where he's from. And yeah, just a very cool theme, and great use of different sounds and instruments. You know, I think I said this before, but this game has some solid themes, but some of them to me just aren't very like memorable. You know, like Jury's theme is nice, but it's not like memorable, or DJ's or Blanca's. But Rashid definitely has one that stands out, and I think would be like one of the more memorable tracks on the soundtrack. Now, that is the Street Fighter 6 character theme tier list. Let me see if I want to make any adjustments though. I think I think this is dope is about right. I'll put Kimberly and Honda above Jury. Yeah. And I put Honda above Chun-Li and Jamie. And let's see. Yeah, that's about right. Now, what about Meh? Yeah, okay. I think DJ probably goes above Blanca. Ken. I think Ken might have the best Meh track for sure. And then amongst the garbage juice, this might be about right. This might be. I think Guile is probably like the best of the garbage juice because it's the least offensive. And then maybe Dowson because it just fits him pretty well. Yeah, I think this is it. This is the official, the Chad Marco official, the Chad Marco official Street Fighter 6 character theme tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys around. Johnny.